Okay, hey, we're into another episode of On Point EDC. To have a really fun review for you from the brand HEAdesigns. A fun fact about them, their founder Sam is also into watches and is actually a viewer of this channel, which is how we actually met via Instagram DMs. A little bit about their brand. Their products are all designed, prototyped, dialed in, QA'd, and packaged here in the US, while they're custom machined to their detailed specifications internationally via partners across the USA, Asia, and Europe. So, unfortunately, I can't say these are USA made or these use this particular OEM, whether it be Best Tech or Riyadh or Kaiser, because they use different runs and source different parts, from different places. But with that, I will say that my experience with HEAdesigns has been very good. Honestly, I reviewed one of their other knives not too long ago. I believe it was the Chief, and that thing was really well built. So, I mean, it doesn't really matter who's making this stuff, as long as what's coming out is quality, is where you're gonna, keep me happy within that plane. Of course, it is nice to support, stuff that's made in the US, but at least it's a US headquartered business, which, I'm always happy to support. Now, in terms of the type of product, we're gonna see, of course, an EDC folding knife, as well as a little bit more of a novelty, a folding comb, which is a lot of fun, and they actually share a lot of similar design language, although they are different in terms of their design, in terms of their size and everything like that. Of course, their use case quite different, but I think these two go together and they are a lot of fun. And of course, me being an EDC guy, apart from just being a watch lover, I love gear, and maybe it's my time in the Marine Corps that really influenced that, but I tend to, have a collection of knives, flashlights, pens, really you name it, fidgetable stuff, coins, I have a lot of that stuff floating in and out of here. So it is fun from that perspective to try out new things like, they didn't invent the folding comb, but this is a front flipper folding comb, which I've never experienced before. So I think that's really cool. So with that said, let's go ahead, zoom the camera out, get these pieces in hand, and take a closer look. Okay, guys, now before we dive in, quick customary wristwatch check. Today I'm wearing my Seiko Prospex Save the Ocean limited edition Glacier Dial SPB 333 J1, and man, look at the texture on that dial. I love the colorways here. I love how the bezel has that great anthracite tone to it, and then just that pop of blue on the seconds hand. And of course, I've paired it with a genuine rubber Tropic strap, and of course that anthracite color goes perfectly, and I dig it. So with that, this also comes with these great cool stickers, which my kids are already fighting over, and I haven't even given them out yet. But I will take them out because I did notice as I'm filming this that the camera really wants to focus on these. So get your last looks at these, but these are included. So a big shout out to HEAdesigns for reaching out and seeing if I'd be interested in a feature. Of course, whether, how I get whatever products, whether they be knives, pens, or watches, how I get them on the channel doesn't really matter. I'm always going to share my honest opinions, and nobody else has any type of editorial or anything like that. It's just pretty much me and my thoughts, and I've experienced quite a few knives, quite a few watches, a whole lot of pens as well, if you guys are fans of the channel. But these two really interested me, especially because they are definitely more within the vein of their signature aesthetic, that kind of pill shape, as you can see. Now, the last knife that I reviewed has quickly become and very often in terms of a very usable carry, because look at the finish on here. It's a great working finish, especially on that blade. But this does have some of the design language, but it doesn't have all of it. But you can see front flipper though, and then you see front flipper. So there's some things, and of course you see that open space there, and then a little bit of that open space. It's kind of part of it. And this one's definitely, I would say, the Chief is going to be more of a, I would say, maybe more versatile in terms of being a bit more of a crowd pleaser, but definitely less of, again, that very signature design aesthetic here, which is very, very stylized. And the nice thing is it's not just there for looks. You can see the fine details just on these titanium scales there. There's a lot of functionality there in terms of cutting weights, right, by having the milling externally and internally. And then, of course, the micro texturing there, which is beautiful. And then you are getting nicely anodized accents there, so things are going to pop. And again, that beautiful working finish, whether it be on the handle or on the blade, really, really nice. So this is actually their newest version of the Venom. This is the Venom V2 in gray, which does come with these great blue accents, kind of tying back to the watch, right? That blued seconds hand. And this thing is awesome. The nice thing is, as you look at it, it is beautiful put away. It's beautiful on the show side, on the lock side. It is a good looking piece. It just looks like something Din Djarin from The Mandalorian might whip out if he needed it. And I just think that's really cool that it's just a really nice looking, aesthetically pleasing knife. And then, of course, in hand, because of that wideness, you're going to get a nice full grip on that, and it just feels quite nice. And yeah, even if you're gonna maybe do some EDC type cuts or otherwise, you're gonna get some nice grip on here, and I really do like that. Of course, overall it's a little bit on the shorter side. This is only going to be under 7 inches, so it's going to be 6.65 about, with a blade length of 2.65 and a closed length of 4 inches. And then in terms of weight, I would say this doesn't feel super lightweight, but it definitely doesn't feel heavy at 3.5 ounces. As for the comb here, it's going to be a little bit shorter at sometimes I gotta actually look at my hand. So at right just above 6 inches here, with about a 2.45 inch blade and then a 3.6 handle there. And then just weighing in at about 2.4 ounces. This thing is very nice, very snappy. And then in terms of this colorway, you're going to be getting the black, which is a PVD coat there, and it's going to be on the hardware, it's going to be on the comb, it's going to be on the liners. This is a liner lock, so it's going to be quite cheaper in terms of the price comparison. This is going to be $99. You're getting this great G10 here. They call it ice gray, and then this is the blacked out version, of course, in terms of PVD. Here you're going to be getting all titanium in terms of that handle, but again, all that milling, all of the texturing, just really beautifully done, and it really just comes together. Getting Bowler M390, pretty serious super steel. Yes, MagnaCut is the new great thing, but that doesn't mean that Bowler M390 is bad. It's still an outstanding blade steel, and I have plenty of knives with M390 that I still adore. And then, of course, you don't really need a fancy blade steel for a comb, especially if it's going to be coated anyway. So not too worried about that. But you guys can see this is going to be something that's going to be, a bit more of a novelty, something fun to carry around, whether you need it or not, in terms of having a utility comb to be able to comb through things. And, as a dad, I will say there are definitely times my daughter's hair needs to be brushed out, or one of my son's hair needs to be combed real quick, just because they don't necessarily have the grooming standards of a full-fledged adult yet. They're all kids, so it's nice to have something like this, and it's just a little bit fun, have that form factor, have it right there, either on you, in your pocket, in your kind of go bag, or in your center consoles. Having something like this is really great. And again, it's a way you can kind of connect with the kids and have fun with this. My daughter and my younger son were both just like enamored with this. They love the front flipper design. They think it looks really cool. They love the idea that it looks like a knife, and then you flip it out and it's a comb, and it's there's that little spark of joy that you get from that. Of course, they know not to play with knives. They're definitely very, very careful and considerate about opening knives or even touching knives. But of course, it's nice for them to at least work on stuff like this, figure out, their little dexterity in terms of manipulating different types of deployment methods on knives. You can do slow roll, you can do it quickly, and yeah, it's just nice. And it's also a nice size in terms of either being in a bag or wherever in pocket. And you can see still nice enough in terms of that milled clip. It's not like some roll over, fold over where it's going to be super ultra deep carry, but it does have a nice pass through construction, easy for cleaning and maintenance. And then you'll have about this much sticking out of your pocket, but that's fine. And then it's quite sturdy, which is great. And same goes for here. Of course, again, it's nice to have that milled section in terms of that pocket clip, but it's not going to be quite as deep of a carry. But hey, when you go through all the trouble of designing a knife that looks this darn good, you don't want to hide too much of it, right? Like, so you're going to have that much out. If you want to put a lanyard there, you can see they have a little trick way that they did. It's a little offset, kind of different. Where you could run your lanyard through there if you wanted to. I'm a lanyard guy, but only on certain knives, and this probably isn't one of them. I do love the clean lines, and I wouldn't want to break that up with a lanyard. I think that signature kind of pill-shaped aesthetic just really, really works. Now, I kind of covered quite a few different things, but again, just in case I forgot, grade 5 titanium milling, of course, on the outset, as well as on the inside there for weight savings, and just overall, just, hey, it shows effort. Another thing that shows effort, that crowned spine there, it's rounded, so there's nothing sharp on there. That is beautiful. Of course, you want a sharp side, and the other parts that aren't sharp shouldn't be sharp, right? So that is very, very nice. And then, of course, that aesthetically is very cool there, and it is a big part of their overall kind of design aesthetic there. And it's just very handsome, and definitely has been revised since all of the earlier iterations and everything, to where this is going to be really, really well done in terms of the ergonomics. It's definitely been improved over previous iterations. In hand, really, really nice, guys, especially considering the shape there. Definitely has a lot of tactile engagement in terms of the grip. And then, of course, you're getting that nice ceramic ball bearing pivot for very, very smooth action, very nicely dialed in detent, so it's very satisfying to flip, and you're really pretty much rarely going to misfire. And the fact that with such a short blade, not even 3 inches long, that you can drop shut it like that, and just with a little, that is just beautiful. That is fantastic. Not necessarily the case for this guy here. Of course, it's going to have a lot less material because of the nature of having those comb bristles there. But you can see, you can kind of drop shut it there. And then if you really want to, you can kind of force it down. But I would say best thing to do here is just close it all the way. Just manually close it over, fold it over. But that is a nice looking and very fun to actuate setup. So very, very cool. Did I cover everything? I guess closing thoughts here, guys. The ceramic ball bearing pivots on these, really smooth action, dialed in detents, which works, makes it really easy to fire these off. In terms of in pocket, you can see they're rounded, so there's not going to be a lot of sharp edges or anything to poke you or what else is in your pocket. And they're relatively thin. Going to be a little bit on the thicker, kind of bulkier side here in terms of the width section. But because it is shorter, a 4-inch handle isn't huge. The nice thing is with this wider stance on it, you do get a nice amount of grip and leverage, which is nice, although it is going to take up a little bit more pocket space. Ultimately it's going to lay nice and flat and be quite stable thanks to these really dialed in pocket clips. In terms of comparable options, I think these are quite niche, but I think, tell me down in the comments what you would consider comparable at this point. These aren't the cheapest. They're not the most expensive either. I think they're well spec'd for what they are in terms of the price point. And then, of course, the design is definitely very, very signature and very, very cool. So I'm, again, happy to support. bottom line on these give off some really cool custom vibes that I think shine through in terms of the production quality on these. And these are just that clean, simple, versatile setup, although you are getting, again, a little bit of extra down in the design. And this isn't superfluous design. I think you can say that, oh yeah, hey, it's helping milling out, it's making it lighter, it's also giving you channels for grip, even the micro texturing there. It's all a working finish, so this looks great. Again, something that Mando, Din might rock one of these days, or even little Grogu. I could see him flipping something like this out. So very, very cool. But let me know what you guys think in the comments below. If you like the video, please do it like. And if you haven't already, please subscribe for more content just like this. And let's get the comb back one more time. What a front flipper. Great action, great sound. Listen to this. Ooh. Then you can slow roll it if you want, or you can do it fast. So much fun. So again, guys, thanks for watching. Thanks for tuning in. If you like the video, please do a like. And if you haven't already, please subscribe for more content just like this. Thanks, guys.